Tonight on Coyote News, the men's football offseason is underway. And as the semester winds down, students have the chance to get their resumes approved and practice their interviewing skills. I'm John Weatherington.
And I'm Kathleen Surrey. One athlete is rising to the challenge of leadership after just 1 year of being a Coyote quarterback. And a headlining duo is making a stop at USD.
Plus, one campus organization is taking punches so children suffering in St. Jude's Children's Hospital don't have to. First, the headlines with Abby Pierce.
Malaysia's acting transport minister says a satellite captured images of 122 objects in the Indian Ocean that might be from missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. The minister says the objects were seen close to where 3 other satellites previously detected objects in the southern Indian Ocean. He says that the sightings together are the most credible evidence they've had, but none of the objects were seen on a second pass by the satellite. Flags at USD are flying at half-staff today to honor the late Billy Orick, the Assistant Director of Operations and Maintenance. Orick has been at USD since last fall. He died in his home last Friday at the age of 41. Some USD students want to stop the university from planting new grass where the muck expansion has left areas of fresh dirt. They're planning to protest tomorrow morning and ask USD to create a sustainable courtyard instead. Their Facebook page encourages students to make picket signs and bring green flags to wave during the day. And those are your headlines.
There's a new face leading the USD men's basketball team. Craig Smith was named the new head coach at a news conference on Monday. Smith, a former assistant at Nebraska, helped lead the Huskers to an NCAA appearance this season. Athletic director David Herbster says Smith's qualifications stood out above the other candidates.
Craig rose to the top on both of those lists, and really without much competition there, even though the competition, I thought, for this position was fierce.
Smith has successfully rebuilt 4 different basketball programs in the past 13 years and has high hopes for USD.
Who we play and how we play is what's going to define us as a program. That's been a major facet of how we've turned things around. We're going to be the toughest working team in the Summit League.
Not only is Smith focusing on playing improvements, but academics and community involvement as well. The team will be helping out as basketball camps, where teaching children the game will also help the players grow as athletes. Smith told those gathered at the news conference that the Coyotes expect to be in the NCAA tournament next year.
10 undergraduate USD students will be heading to Orlando, Florida for a chance to compete in the American Mock Trial Association National Championship Tournament. The mock trial team also received the Spirit of AMTA Award, which is awarded to the school who demonstrates the highest level of collegiality, civility, and professionalism. USD received 29 out of 30 votes to receive the awards. USD's team is among the top 48 mock trial teams in the country. Coming up after the break, get a behind-the-scenes look at the ROTC's Spring Field event and find out how much money Pi Phi raised for their fundraising event. Stay tuned.
The U.S. Army regularly includes embedded journalists in its operations, and the campus ROTC unit is no different. Coyote News' Jenny Zeller traveled along with the ROTC to the Austin training area to find out what kinds of skills USD students are learning.
From platoons to squads to the battlefield. The USD ROTC held their Sticks event this past Saturday. Over 50 USD students participated in the missions. Before each mission, squad leaders pointed out to the members which route they would take and how they would plan the attack. One mission led the team to an ambush attack, while others included fire from the enemy.
Incoming! Down!
If any team members were killed, students had to carry them to their next safety point. ROTC member TJ Dumke says these missions are a learning opportunity.
Being able to be outside and have be around people that know what they're doing and can educate me a little more than what I already know.
The last missions to be completed included the entire platoon traveling to a non-hostile village where they tried to get more information from the leaders. After acquiring the necessary information, the platoon was able to complete their final mission. Cadet Captain Matt Sharn says the troop leading procedure includes 7 steps, starting with receiving the mission and ending with a reconciliation afterwards.
And you create a warning order, and you take that warning order and you go to your subordinates or your soldiers and you say, hey, this is kind of what's going on. It's the who, what, when, where, why. After that, you create the op org, and that's the plan that's kind of set in stone, and that's actually what's going to happen.
Sharn says the event teaches cadets the value of leadership and to lead soldiers in a combat situation. The ROTC trains about 4 times each semester, adding more variables with each training. For Coyote News, I'm Jenny Zeller.
Students were waiting outside the doors of the Vermilion Armory last night, but it was all for a good cause. The Pi Beta Phi sorority held its 4th annual Pi Phi Bowtie event. Cafe Brulee catered the all-you-can-eat meal, and the proceeds went to the sorority's national philanthropy, First Book. In addition to the food, students could also Pi Phi for different prices. Students could pie anyone in the sorority in the face. Coyote News' Taylor Moore is live in the muck with Pi Phi President Katie Ulrich. Taylor?
Thanks, John. I'm here live in the muck with the president of Pi Beta Phi, Katie Ulrich. Thank you so much for coming, Katie.
No problem.
Yeah, so we wanted to know why you all chose First Book as your philanthropy.
Pi Beta Phi's national philanthropy is First Book with the Read, Lead, Achieve initiative, so we donate all of our funds to that to help benefit literacy.
So what events have you all done this year to sponsor your philanthropy?
This October and every October we do a haunted house and we partner with the Men of Lambda Chi Alpha, and then we do a speed read in the muck, and then we do our Pi Phi bow tie in the spring.
Absolutely, and your Pi Phi bow tie event was last night. How did that go?
It went really, really well. We were appreciative of all the support we saw from the community.
Wonderful. And how much money have you all raised in total this year?
From Pi Phi bow tie, it's kind of separated by, so this year starts in January. So far this year we've raised over $3,200 because of last night's philanthropy event.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Katie. That was the president of Pi Beta Phi, Katie Ulrich. Live in the muck, I'm Taylor Moore.
Thanks, Taylor. On this week's Coyote blog, Charlie Daldorf shares his passion for gaming and his excitement for new players to enter the market.
Hello, everybody. It's no secret that I love professional gaming. I've been watching the Brood War in the Korean scene since I was a freshman in high school. I'm a huge supporter of Team Liquid, the website, and the team as a whole. They made an announcement recently that made me dance around my room like a sugared-up Easter bunny. 2 new players have entered their roster, Korean DJ and Ken. That's right, Team Liquid is embracing Super Smash Bros. Melee. This is probably the biggest news in esports in terms of hype. Smash has been an underground scene for such a long time with an avid fan base. And just now, they're really revving up the engines for an amazing year. EVO is going to be the big tournament for Smash, and I hope other organizations pick it up. KDJ and Ken are paving the way for other players to be picked up by teams as well. I want to see teams like Dingatas and Evil Geniuses get their hands wet. Just imagine, EG Asin versus Liquid Ken in the finals of a tournament. It's a classic East vs. West matchup, and one to write down in the history books. And just a shout out, The Smash Brothers is one of the best documentaries I have ever watched, and it shows how awesome the Smash scene really is. For Coyote Blog, I'm Charlie, Sense of Fate Daldorf, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Charlie. Coming up after the break, learn how one campus organization takes punches so children at St. Jude's Hospital don't have to, and how students can boost their chances of getting a job after graduation. Stay with us.
USD's Contemporary Media and Journalism Department can be seen and heard all over campus. Faculty members know that hands-on experience now is the key to success after college. Get professional experience by participating in one of the many practicums offered. Have your voice heard on the radio. Edit a promo for a campus organization. Investigate breaking news stories for a weekly newspaper. Design advertisements for local businesses. Get involved with the CMJ department at USD and start your future now.
A boxing ring and St. Jude's Children's Hospital have something in common. Tau Kappa Epsilon's fight night is tomorrow night as Coyote News' Brandy Bew reports.
Teak Fight Night is a philanthropy event that not only raises money, but also raises awareness for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Willing participants could sign up beginning in January. After signing a release form, they could start training.
It's all about, just having fun and making sure that no one gets hurt, and that's really all the training you need.
There are 5 different teams as well as individuals.
Even though the event is for charity, many participants take the event quite seriously. One participant, Madison Warder, started training the week before spring break.
Madison Warder is one of 2 girls participating in Fight Night. She trains at Brotherhood Boxing.
5 to 6, you're warming up. We get in the ring, do some sparring with some other people. But a lot of times it's just like training, like form, like what your punches are supposed to look like, what your feet are supposed to look like, which way you're supposed to face your body, stuff like that.
For Coyote News, I'm Brandy Bew.
Teak will be selling tickets in the muck for tomorrow night's event, set for 7 o'clock at the National Guard Armory.
USD is hosting the 3rd annual Diversity Symposium tomorrow. Andy Ziesler, editor of Bitch Magazine, will be discussing why pop culture matters to feminism. 5 workshops will be held throughout the afternoon talking about transgenders, dangerous dates and relationships, and the voices of pain and healing. The film Girl Rising, which includes inspirational stories from 9 girls living in developing countries and overcoming challenges, will be shown as well. The Diversity Symposium starts at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning and goes until 5:30.
This week is Realizing the Dream Week. Along with the Diversity Symposium, a Building Bridges Conference, and an alumni dinner, USD will be hosting their 42nd annual Wachipi. During the Wachipi, students will be able to experience Native American culture, language, customs, and values. They'll have the opportunity to taste traditional buffalo stew or a modern Italian taco. Gene Thin Oak says it's important to have different cultures at the Wachipi.
We want to be able to interact with everybody because we're entering into a global society now, so the more interactions we have with many different cultures and ethnicities, the better off we are.
Thin Oak says the Wachipi is a time to come together, celebrate, socialize, and enjoy one another's company. There will be dancers, singers, and drum groups, including many opportunities for students to experience Native American culture. Students are encouraged to ask questions and seek answers to understand the Native American culture. The Wachipi is at the Dakota Dome on Saturday and Sunday.
On this week's Yote Report, Coyote News' Bailey Millen finds out what events USD has planned to boost student resumes and help them get a job after graduation.
The Academic and Career Planning Center has been brewing up a plethora of resume and interview enhancing events for USD students. Assistant Director Heather Johnson says they are beginning everything with Resumania, which is being held this week.
We'll have a table set up in the Munster University Center each day from 11 to 1 where students can pop by and either have their resumes and cover letters critiqued or just get their kind of last minute career questions answered.
Johnson says there will be additional events held next week which would be beneficial for students seeking internships to attend.
Some of the workshops will actually be coordinated by some of the employers and recruiters that we work with that like to hire our students.
Johnson says resumes need to be a quick and easy read for employers. It's also important to remember that resumes are a networking tool for you.
Their resumes should not look like all of their friends' resumes because they have different experiences, different student organizations, different skills.
Students planning to participate in Career Week should know which interview questions to ask and which questions to avoid.
What's a typical day in the life of someone in this position? They would never want to ask about salary or benefits up front. You don't want to start that conversation until after you've been offered the position.
Students who have held jobs which may not directly relate to their major need to focus on transferable skills which will jump out at an employer.
They really need to put themselves in the employer's shoes and think about if they were the person hiring for that position, what things would jump out at them, and really targeting what they put on their resume to that position.
To see the complete schedule for Career Week, visit calendar.usd.edu. For the Yote Report, I'm Bailey Millen.
After the break, we'll have more details on how the USD women's basketball team did in the NCAA tournament and how the football team is preparing for next season. Stay tuned.
not getting your message across clearly? Contact Kyle Creative for all your promotional needs.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, the softball team played their first Summit League games, and Kevin Earl talks about the football offseason. I'm Nathan Ellenbecker.
And I'm Nicole Griffith. Another club sport is preparing for their season, plus sports commentator Courtney Sterrett talks about getting physical in hockey. First, the headlines. Abby?
Football players at Northwestern University have formed a union and will now qualify as employees of the university. The National Labor Relations Board noted that the players' time commitment to football and the fact that their scholarships are tied directly to their performance are reasons for granting them union rights. Northwestern issued a statement saying they believe their student athletes are not employees but students. The Chicago Bears have signed defensive end Jared Allen, a former Viking star. Allen was believed to be nearing a deal with the Seahawks, but will instead head to Chicago where he'll be a replacement for Julius Peppers, who left for the Packers. And those are your headlines.
The USD women's basketball team made their debut in the Division I NCAA tournament last Saturday. USD made students and alumni proud to be a Coyote, scoring 62 points against Stanford's 81 in the NCAA tournament. The team high was 22, scored by junior Nicole Seekamp, who says she appreciated the tough competition.
Playing here and losing this game, it just only kind of makes it a bigger thing next year. We just want to get better every year, and that's only going to make us better if we can play against better teams. And next year it will just be another good competition.
While Seekamp liked the competition, what Coach Amy Williams valued most was the team's dedication.
Even when they were a little bit fatigued and gassed throughout the game, they were given everything they possibly had, and I'm so proud to be their coach.
USD will lose one senior, Polly Harrington, who averaged 12 points, 5 rebounds per game, and shot over 50% from the field this season. USD finished the season 19-14 overall, claimed 4th place in the conference standings, won the Summit League tournament, and played in the NCAA Division I tournament, all just 2 years after becoming eligible.
Coyote softball started conference action this past weekend in Omaha. The Yotes played a doubleheader on Friday, losing the first before winning the latter 15-6. In the win, Allie Daly hit 2 home runs, while Yvonne Minogue had 2 hits and 3 runs. The Yotes lost the final game with the same score as the first, 3-1. USD falls to 1-2 in the Summit League and 18-12 overall. They'll travel to Ames tomorrow to take on Iowa State in a doubleheader.
The arrival of spring means 3 things here at USD. It's time for nice weather, spring cleaning, and club baseball. The sounds of baseballs being hit were loud and clear at the Dakota Dome as the team started practicing for its upcoming season. Baseball club president Trevor Doyle says the team usually practices outside at Prentice Park, but due to bad weather have been forced to practice in the Dome. Although it's too late to get involved this season, the team usually holds open tryouts at the start of the year for anyone looking to get involved. This Saturday at 1 o'clock, the team takes on Iowa State at Prentice Park here in Vermillion. The team had to cancel one of its games due to bad weather, but they're hoping for more sunshine this weekend.
The Coyote football team may have only won 4 games all last season, but 3 of those came when the team decided to make a quarterback change. Coyote News' Grant Boziaki caught up with quarterback Kevin Earl to see how his offseason went.
The University of South Dakota football team is set to begin spring practice this Saturday. One of the biggest storylines will be to see the progress that quarterback Kevin Earl has made in his first offseason. At this time last year, Kevin Earl was an unheralded backup quarterback for the USD Coyotes, but by the 5th game of the year, he was the man in charge of the offense. I talked to head coach Joe Glenn and Earl about the progress he's made from last season to this season.
Definitely been a really productive and fun offseason, but I think everyone on this team's itching to put the pads back on and run around a little bit.
Glenn said the next step for his quarterback is to continue improving day in and day out.
This will be a big spring for him. It's his first spring driving the car with the first team. We think that he'll do a great job of improving and really be ready to go when we play Oregon in our first game.
After starting the final 8 games last year, Earl says he's ready for the spotlight to be on him.
Well, I think everybody looks at you a little differently when you're the quarterback. So you have to lead by example, and especially during our off season, because we're spending a lot of time in the weight room. You got to show them that, you know, set a standard for work and have people try to rally around you.
For Coyote News, I'm Grant Boziacki.
You can get an early look at Earl and the Coyotes' progress during the annual Red-White scrimmage a month from now. Speaking of football, Coyote News' Erica Arpan is live in the muck with USD football head coach Joe Glenn to see how the team is preparing. Erica?
Thanks, Nathan. As classes for the spring semester start to wind down to its remaining weeks, training for football is just getting started. Thanks so much for being with us, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, now as the red and white game approaches, are there any special preparations you and the team are doing for it right now?
Well, actually, it's a red and white game where we play against each other. And when the seniors are gone and the freshmen aren't in yet, you don't have a full contingent of players. So it's more of a scrimmage than a game. We try and keep score in a funny way, offense and defense. But I will tell you this, it's exciting. It's a chance for those guys to put on their game suit. They go 15 practices, and in the 15th practice, we finish spring with a spring-type game on April 26th.
All right, and how have the off-season workouts been beneficial to the team?
Well, first of all, to answer that, I would really like to thank Jevin Bowman, our strength coach. If anybody goes in the dome and you hear all that clanking over on the landing going on, that's Jevin doing his thing. And I think our athletes had almost 500 personal bests in all the lifts they were doing. And we're incredibly strong. We're stronger than we've ever been, quicker than we've ever been, and I just think poised to get better for this upcoming season.
All right, thank you so much. That was head football coach Joe Glenn, live in the muck. I'm Erica Arpan.
Thanks, Erica. USD released the 2014 Coyote football schedule yesterday. It's set for 12 games, 6 home and 6 away. The season starts off in Eugene, Oregon, where the Coyotes will take on the University of Oregon Ducks, a team that finished 11-2 last season and with a top 10 national ranking. Yet again, the Coyotes will face SDSU in the last regular season game, but this year the game is in Brookings on November 22nd. Checking isn't the most important thing in hockey. Sports commentator Courtney Starrett says, stick to the game and lay off the violence.
With the Stanley Cup playoffs underway this week, things are going to get pretty competitive in the world of hockey. With competitiveness comes the urge to not only play harder, but to hit harder. Even though it's the playoffs and players are said to be more cautious with their actions, some players tend to go more after bodies rather than the puck. Checking is a huge part of hockey, and fans live for that full-on contact. Sure, it's okay to play defense and throw a few bodies into the boards, but don't get carried away when you go to hit someone. Everyone wants to be the best and go to the Stanley Cup, but if players aren't careful, then they'll be too hurt to even play. I'm not saying hit the opponents with pillows so they won't feel a thing, but no one benefits from a headstrong defenseman out for blood. The crowd loves a good game more than a gory fight and someone leaving on a stretcher. It's great to have that competitive drive. It'll push you to play better than your best. Just don't let it get in the way of you reaching your goals. Do you really want to spend the end of the season in a cast watching your team go through the playoffs without you? Play hard, but most importantly, have fun. And don't try to end someone else's or even your own career. For Coyote Sports, I'm Courtney Starrett.
Thanks, Courtney. After the break, hear what students have to say about campus diversity. Stay with us.
Excuse me, ma'am, what is this?
Obstacle course training. It's how we prepare our staff to get you the news first. Not bad. The Blonde, first to the news, first to you. The student's voice for 125 years.
USD's Campus Activities Board is bringing Time Flies, along with Two Shakes and Midwest Blessed, to campus for their main concert this year. It takes place Monday in the Dakota Dome.
On this week's Out and About, we asked students how they feel about CAB bringing Time Flies to USD.
I wish you guys would have got the Beatles. But, I mean, 2 of them are still alive. It's pretty exciting.
Well, I don't even know who they are. Like, I've never heard of them. Very excited.
I think it's really interesting. I'm glad. It's nice to have concerts out here. Plus, I don't have to drive, so save me money.
I think it's cool. I mean, I'm not really a fan of them, but I think that people like them, so they're a good band to bring.
I actually don't really know who they are, so I don't even really know who Time Flies is, so, you know, not too excited. I was really excited about Jared Neiman last year. It's good, but I have to admit that I haven't bought a ticket yet. I'd be more willing to buy it if the first thing that I Googled wasn't just all covers.
I'm pretty excited about it. I really like a lot of their music, so when I heard they were coming, I was pretty ecstatic.
I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to bring a very crazy atmosphere, especially having the concert in the Dome.
I don't really know too much about Time Flies, but my girlfriend does. She's pretty excited, so I think it's pretty cool that they're coming here, showing us some love.
On this week's Chuck in the Muck, Chuck finds out what USD students have to say about campus diversity.
This is Chuck in the Muck, and there are a lot of hot girls here tonight.
Diversity is an old wooden ship.
That's not fair.
Your name is?
Tanner.
You don't look that tan to me.
What's your name?
Brent.
You don't look that... Oh, never mind.
I'm friends with a lot of diverse people.
What do you mean diverse people?
Black people.
You have to eat all the colors of the rainbow if you want to stay healthy with vegetables, so you should have all the colors of the rainbow in your community.
Are you ethnically diverse?
Yeah, I'm Albanian.
I knew it! How diverse, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you think the University of South Dakota is?
4.
4?
Solid 4.
So you'd say 40% of the people here are non-white?
Ooh, maybe not even that.
Maybe 60 people in the immediate vicinity. How many of them are white?
Majority.
Except for one.
Except for me, and I see another
2.
Yeah.
Yep. It's called Chuck in the Muck.
Oh, I'm Chuck.
You're not Chuck, I'm Chuck.
I'm Charles Lee Morrison. I'm Chuck.
No, I'm Charles Stephen Gross III.
Okay, that's nice to know.
I'm Chuck. So, Chuck, you can get off my show. It's good. Oh, get out. You runners are kind of weird.
I think you're really weird. You got a really mustache.
How many diverse friends do you have?
I know quite a few diverse people. Actually, I took Arabic for 2 semesters last year.
Does that make you diverse?
It doesn't make me diverse, but I know.
I work at Jimmy John's, it doesn't make me a sub.
That's true.
Yeah, Matt Abbott, come on. You gotta help us do this stuff because you're really involved in our admissions process, I feel like, at USD. Just you, no one else.
At the end of the day, I guess I really don't know what a diversity is. But everyone seems to like it. I think I might just get one. This has been Chuck in the Muck. A new copy of the Vlant hit newsstands today. Be sure to pick up a paper to read about a sexual assault that happened 16 years ago at USD, and some insight on the new head men's basketball coach. Men's Health magazine has named USD's Wellness Center one of the coolest recreation centers in America. The $11 million Wellness Center offers TRX studios, a HyperFit boot camp, and a 6-week nutritional program with scheduled workouts and personal trainers. All students can use the Wellness Center for free using their student ID. USD's building was one of the top 11 in the nation.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Have a great night. We'll see you next time.